How I financed my first home. After graduating from college, I started living with my parents because they were always encouraging me to avoid renting, and this was a great way for me to start saving money. The first job that I landed was actually with the mortgage company. This was my first taste in the industry altogether. I had no idea what a mortgage loan was, equity line of credit, and having learned what it takes to qualify for a mortgage. So in this video, I'm going to touch on how I was able to achieve financing my first property. If you're new to this channel, my name is Kandy.Katz. Be sure to like this video and subscribe for future mortgage tips. One of the things that I want to debunk for first-time home buyers is a lot of people assume that you need a 2-year work history. Keep in mind, I started working at this mortgage company for a year straight out of college, and I was able to qualify for my first purchase with just working after a year in. So with that said, what we do as a lender is we would actually look at past history of you maybe were a student, perhaps you were an intern, whatever that is, we can fill in that gap. And connecting with a good lender, they'll be able to explain that to you. Another thing I want you to be aware of is 20% is not required. I was able to purchase this first house by doing 100% financing. Now, mind you, that product may not be available now, but because I was aware of this option, I want to make sure that you're taking advantage of all the available programs out there. So for me to qualify for a house, I didn't have to put any money down at that time, so it almost was a no-brainer. And lastly, I want to make sure that you're aware, first house that you buy is not the end-all be-all. I bought my first home 17 years ago, and after living in the home, I started to lease it out. I became a landlord and, now sold the property and purchased more. It just hopefully teaches you that you always want to start with your first property, and I was able to do that. How? By making sure that I positioned myself financially. So having moved in with my folks straight out of college, I was able to make sure any debt that I had outstanding from student loans, revolving credit card, a car loan was all cleared. I knew my credit was at good standing as well because I did make those payments on time. And because I live with family straight out of college, I was able to save pretty much everything that I made to give me that safety net, so that way when I did purchase my first home, the reserves were there. One of the things I didn't mention though was when I first started working, I was living in New Orleans with my folks. Hurricane Katrina had hit, which prompted me to go ahead and relocate to a new market. At that time, I relocated to Dallas and I started renting. This is highly discouraged coming from an Asian family that wants to make sure you're not wasting money on rent, and paying into interest that is not paying off. This is how I started my journey on home ownership. I took advantage of the buyer's market at that time, connected with a realtor, got my ducks in a row with a local lender, and was able to purchase my first home. I want to be able to help you do the same. So if you have questions on how you can get started, be sure to drop a message below. All of my information is in the description, and I look forward to helping you. Thanks so much for dropping in. I'll see you guys on the next video.